Now that's
One more minute. One more PSA to play after this.
Excellent.
Phonographic Arts Records.
Primal Pleasures, Herbal Timelessness.
That was cool. I went for the
You
guy's
have to say
deathbed.
that.
You come up with some good stuff, man.
I can hear myself talk.
Not yet.
Recorded from his deathbed. That was cool.
Spitfire Saloon.
Star
I
Pop,
like silent
Vintage and Modern.
Silent sound like Deadly Night.
Tommy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be cool.
Doing that, yeah.
You put on a screen and that, and you have
Yeah, I got a big-
He couldn't. He didn't
Oh,
know
like
how-
Christmas horror films, you know, to get everybody in the right spirit of things.
What's it gonna be?
It's this Thursday night at the Bella W.
Cool, man.
In Lakewood, yeah.
Get Jack Gilmany up there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if you guys
Is
stop
your
by.
neighborhood overflowing with stray kitties? Have you been adopted by the cat
feral
outside?
Yeah.
Feral and free-roaming cats are the largest contributors to the cat overpopulation crisis. The Cleveland APL is committed to ending this developing tragedy and has a trap-neuter release program to assist caretakers of unsocialized outdoor cats. If you are feeding an outside cat, the APL invites you to be part of the overpopulation solution and take
Track
advantage
11's
of their
getting the most
services.
plays.
Through their
Yeah, we got
annual
exclamation marks
program,
under that
the following
one.
services for feral cats
Sexuality, I
and
guess that
cats.
one's
Oh,
people
kidding.
like that one.
With more feeds
I'll
for
take a
feral
pair of them
kitties.
jeans. I like if you couldn't get number
Rabies
9, I get lost
vaccine,
today.
FVRCP vaccine,
Yeah, that would be
and
good.
trapping
Number
education
9.
and trap loan programs.
At 5, we
For
did
more
that.
information
Satisfaction, we're all three on
about the
that
Cleveland
one.
APL's
Oh,
Trap
okay.
Neuter Release program, you can go to
It's only 3
www.clevelandapl.com/TNR.
minutes long, too.
I knew they couldn't love her, well, even half as much as I.
Okay, I wanted to remind everyone that you're listening to WCSB Cleveland, and this is the Marc James interview, December 2010 edition. Let's give everybody a test here, and you can all introduce yourself and make sure the microphones are working.
Good morning, Jay. Cleveland, this is Marc James. Good morning to everyone. Merry Christmas.
Hello, this is Bobby Schrobo-Dean. Welcome here. Thank you so much for having us. Good morning, Jake, Steve, and everybody else out there. How are we?
Good morning, this is Sarah Manka, and hello Cleveland, and happy holidays.
All right. So, it's been a busy year for you guys. You got a new album
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it really has been, Jake. It's been a success, and it's been well taken for on a limited basis of the stations we approached, and that it's been well taken, and we're getting some decent feedback, and it's really in a big way due to the people I associated with, Mr. Bobby Schrobo-Dean and Mrs. Sarah Manka, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been just a positive experience all the way around. Bobby?
We're having a good time making this record. It was a pleasure to work with Sarah and to work with Mark again on the second effort here. And we hope you people out there like it.
All right, and Sarah, you're new to the team. How did you find the experience of working with Marc James?
Well, I was overwhelmed at first with the talent, but I added what I could, and I think Mark has a talent in bringing out the best in all the musicians he works with, and the end product speaks for itself.
So you guys have been together. Mark and Bobby have been working together since the mid-'80s.
That's correct.
And right now it seems like you guys are just on a roll. 2 albums back-to-back, right in a row, Maximum Action. You followed it up
Yes.
less than a year later with
Yeah.
In On It, the brand new album.
That's correct.
And this was released on Atra Records, same as the last one, right?
Yes. I'll tell you, Jake, it's been a good year. With Bobby and myself, we did plan to do a second follow-up album to Maximum Action. We incorporated the use of Sarah. She fit like a glove. Bobby and I were on the mission to find a female vocalist to give us some dimension of the songs and make things a little bit different on this album. And Sarah just fit right into place in every aspect, and it was just really a pleasure working with her. And we are right now contemplating our new album for next year. So.
You've already got new stuff in the works.
In the works, basically, it was on the board. Nothing on digital. Nothing. No final recordings.
No,
yet.
nothing finalized,
But
but,
everything's coming around. We've got a good idea. We've got a good perspective of what we're going to pursue here.
Now, last time I talked to you, Mark, you were mentioning to me that you were wanting to get more progressive and move into the area of rap.
Yes, we are. We're going into a very strong dance area, and we're incorporating white rap, if you'll accept that term. I mean, it's I'm not gonna, I cannot, just I can't copy what some of the professional rappers do. And
Right.
I leave it at that term non-insultingly, just to say that we are what we are, and it was just a good session to do some rap, and it fit our mode very well.
You've been honing your rap skills?
Yes, I've been working on that. It's difficult. It's very difficult, and I've got the utmost respect for it. It's very difficult to do. It is not easy. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not just a given, So it requires a lot of practice.
Now, have you been freestyling? Do you do any freestyling?
Pretty much so. Yeah.
Well, could we get an example of that right now? Would
No,
that be possible?
No,
Oh, I think our listeners
not
would
at
love
all.
to hear. No? Oh, man. All right, so they provided me a nice list of questions, as they always do. You guys are always prepared for an interview, giving me these great lists. How was the chemistry working between the three of you? Any problems in the...
I think it was really great. It was a pleasure to have someone different in there. Speaking of Sarah, she was a wonderful person to work with, and a true talent.
Oh, thank you very much, Bobby. I am from a classical background, so for me it was a real step out of myself to get into this kind of mode with the fantastic songs that Marc wrote, and I learned so much in this process. So.
And what instruments do you play on the album?
I have a little bit of flute on there.
Oh, some flute and some vocals as well?
Yeah, vocals too.
That's
Yeah.
in Sexuality. She did the flute lead on.
Right. Sexuality, the song's causing some controversy up here.
That's good. That's good. That's what it's all about. You're supposed to make you think.
Oh,
A pair of those jeans.
What exactly does that line mean? I'll take a pair of those jeans, because that one really stands out.
It's there's several meanings, and it was written that way, it was coined that way, and it is what it is.
I don't think it's Levi's, right?
We won't explain it any further.
A metaphor.
There you go.
Holy moly. What was the hardest part of recording in on it?
I'll let the others try that. For me, it was the length of the album. 14 songs. We put a lot of time into it, and I'm not gonna pull any punches. It was hard at the end. It was difficult to keep up that level of persistence and quality and talent, and then still remain fresh and mix it down. It was the length of the longevity of the album. I think was kind of a detriment to me.
For me, it was always getting the last cup of coffee that was in the pot for the last hour and a half.
For me, it was getting through the 20 takes for one phrase. I have a new appreciation for studio musicians. I had no idea it took that much time and effort, but I'll tell you, it was a great experience for me, and I learned a lot through this.
20 takes for one phrase, so you guys are real professionals. You want to get that just perfect.
You know what, though, Jake? I gotta explain that. I leave that totally up to the artist. Bobby does his takes. He doesn't stop until he accepts the take he wants. I'm not a pressurer and then Sarah also, she accepts the take she wants, and that's how we leave it.
You know who you remind me of, Bobby? Stanley Kubrick. Because when he's doing his films, like The Shining, he would force people to do 200 takes. Nobody wanted to work with him anymore because he'd make Shelley Duvall say all these lines over and over and over and over and over.
No one wants to ever work with me again. No, I'm just kidding. It never really takes that long. I mean, I think she's exaggerating a little with 25.
Yeah, I think I was. Sorry about that.
It's never that.
That's Christmas. I want to be generous.
We do like to make it sound good, though, if we can. We really enjoy doing it, and we like to get it the best that we can. And we record in an old style, too, which is kind of cool.
Who is the most professional amongst
That's going to
y'all?
surprise you. I think probably Bobby.
Okay.
Because, Bobby is a worker. He's involved wholeheartedly in his project, in the music, and both Sarah too, coming from the classical background, they're both just unbelievably talented musicians, and they don't settle. They work hard. Their work ethic is fantastic. I would have to say Bobby or Sarah are probably the most professional.
Now your follow-up question here is who's the most demanding, but I think we've already established the guy who is the most demanding here.
Who's that?
Mr. 20 takes.
Wait, I think I said that.
Crack that whip.
So
who's the most unprofessional?
Probably me. Probably me.
Oh,
Yeah,
please.
all of us.
No.
We're all
Here we
a bunch
are.
of unpros.
Now there's an explanation required for that. Probably me because I'm fortunate enough to work with great people, and I set aside that I just put my hands up and say, "You're on your own." And, you know, I'm completely free and easy that way, and they determine what goes on the album. So I'd have to say, in a way, slightly stretching here, I am probably the most unprofessional.
Anyone outside of the three of you who has input into the group?
Not really. We've taken on a new studio in the future here. We're working with another studio producer, Dave DeMilo, and he owns Milo Recording Studio, and we're going to incorporating, but we don't know what level yet.
Really? So from up to this point, you've just recorded in what is it, Bobby's?
Atra Records.
Atra Records
Our studio.
with Bobby, and now you've gone into a new studio
Yes.
for these new recordings.
Yes.
Is that does that just throw the whole process for a loop?
It's experimental right now, Jake. It's experimental, and we don't know where it's leading us. And we're still maintaining Atra Records as the preliminary and utmost of the facilities. But
We're giving it a new try, right? Something
Yeah.
just to check out a different place to do things.
Now, is Atra Records just a home for the Marc James recordings, or are you guys look to have other artists on the label?
Bobby, why don't you take that?
Well, right now, being the way times are economically, we're not really looking to have anybody. Eventually, we're planning on branching out and maybe signing some artists to it, once it starts picking up.
Yeah, times are tough. A lot of record labels are hurting right now.
Right.
You just put this album out on a CD, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And you had quite a few. How many copies did you have pressed of this?
3,000.
3,000 copies, and it's CD Baby is where
CD Baby did the pressing.
Did the
yes,
pressing?
yes.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, we were very satisfied with the pressing and the entire package that the CD was issued out as. We were very happy, very pleased with it.
Now, other than coming on WCSB, how are you guys getting the word out on the
A lot of internet stuff. We've joined a lot of organizations to help get it out there, mostly on the internet. And we're not at this time playing live.
Right, that's the one question
Yeah,
people always
yeah.
want to know is when they can see the Marc James Band
Yeah.
live experience.
Right, it will be coming. This year coming in 2011 here, we're going to definitely have a live thing working. So.
Yeah.
All right, yes, a lot of different venues where I frequent are ask. I've given the CD out, and people play it in between bands and stuff, and then people are always asking when are these guys going to play?
It's coming. Don't worry. We will be putting a live thing together here.
So Bobby, what projects lie ahead for you?
Mostly just working with Mark. I have been working a little with Reaction 7, a friend of mine, Frank Fogg, and his act. This is Island Def Jam Records distribution. But other than that, just working with Mark. Mark's my main act. That's who I work with.
Now, you're also a truck driver, right?
Yeah, I deliver new trucks all over the country.
All over the country, so that keeps you pretty busy
I
as well.
travel everywhere. Been to all the airports and all the TSAs and the pat-downs and the metal detectors and the crap.
He loves the pat down.
Oh, it's my favorite experience.
Right.
Whoa! Didn't need to hear all of that. What?
They use the female checkers for me.
I
Do you-
get the guy.
Never with the men. Sorry, I'm not into that. Thank you.
We'll save that for when we discuss sexuality.
Yeah, sexuality.
Paradigm jeans.
And anyway, do you write? Do you ever find yourself coming up with things as you're driving the trucks, Bobby? You come
I
up with
get
inspiration,
ideas.
yeah.
Definitely. You see so much different stuff on the road out there, and different experiences and different people, and I just enjoy it. I love the road. I could live out of a suitcase.
All right, I know you guys like to give these shout-outs, so why don't you guys go ahead and give your...
Dave DeMilo at Milo Recording Studios, NJ Reed.
Just a shout out to my brother Artie, Stephanie, her dad Dennis Golden, Vinny, Sadie, and also Wilson, and April.
And I want to say hi to Ian, Andy, and Dylan. Hope they're having a great day today.
All right, is the group tighter than ever, or are you coming apart at the seams? Wow.
We're tighter than ever.
Tighter
We're
than
never
ever,
going to come
yeah,
apart. This
yeah.
will last forever. This will be here even long after the cockroaches are gone.
You know, I think the great thing about the Marc James organization here is that we do know when to give each other our space also.
Right.
Bobby and I have been on a hiatus. He's kind of done his thing, and I've kind of done mine, kind of regrouping. The album was tough, Jake. It was grueling at the end. I don't mean to sound really over-dramatic about that either.
Oh, no, I know how
was
these
hard to
things
do.
can go.
Balancing a workload workload and work schedule, I should say, and the real jobs and family commitments, and then doing the album. But me and Bobby took kind of a hiatus. We enjoyed it. We're back, better than ever. We've incorporated Sarah. It's a really unique blend of musicianship you have here.
We all love each other.
So it's going to be the three of you again for the next album.
Yes, yes, it is. That's a winning format for us. Everything worked really well. Everything coincided, and everyone participated very well, and it just works. It works.
Maybe it's too early to ask this, but would you expect a 2011 release date for new material? Or
I think so, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we're slated for that. I think we can put out I don't think it's going to be a 14-song CD.
I think we might think about doing maybe an EP or something on vinyl this time too.
Something on vinyl. This was my suggestion to you guys because that's where it lies these days. They want. I mean, the CDs sales keep going down for everyone year after year, and vinyls really. If somebody wants a concrete copy, I know I usually buy it on vinyl. So Bobby, why don't you rate this album compared to the projects you have worked on previously?
I think it's right up there with them. It's to our best so far.
It's the most daunting so far. It's 14 songs, twice as long as Maximum Action. This is probably the biggest undertaking you guys have had, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun too.
Mark, how would you rate the project?
It was a positive experience on all levels. We did a horn section. We expanded musically. We expanded our friendships, our work ethic. Everything was just really fantastic, upbeat, and positive. It was a very good experience.
So the album, if I recall, came out in the summer, like June or July.
That's correct.
So what have you been up to musically in the last 6 months?
A long break of 2 months, which we consider long. Bobby and I usually write all the time. But the 2-month break, and then we got into just starting and planning and looking at a new album procedure and how we're going to handle this new release.
Okay. Do you guys still enjoy doing the music, or is it ever work?
Sarah, how do you feel about that?
Music has never worked for me. Music is my whole life. I've done it since I was 11, and I teach flute music. I've been involved in all kinds of groups, but this is the first time, like I said, I've been in a group like this, so I've really enjoyed it.
Teach the flute. That's very cool. Leia called in earlier and was sad that she couldn't take part in the interview, but she also plays the flute, so
I remember.
she would have
she
would have enjoyed that.
Leia's really nice. I like her a lot. She's
Hello, Leia.
Hi, Leia. We wish you were here.
Yeah.
She's out styling hair and all that right now at work, but maybe she's able to tune in. I told her I would definitely record it for her, which I am.
Excellent.
So Sarah, what are your strong points in the group?
Well, I take directions really well. So, I don't know how to answer that because I'm so new at this, but I can bring kind of a solid classical background with me, and I'm pretty fussy about intonation and kind of the basics, really. So I would say I bring the basics back. If that makes sense.
All right, bringing back to the basics. Mark, what are your strong points?
I think the ideas of the songs. I think, like I said, me and Bobby write them, but we come out there usually, for most part, not always, but I get that germ of an idea and I lay it on Bobby and then, yeah, this works, and no. And we know right away, Bobby will say, no, that's not fitting, or we'll say, we'll be exuberant about it, and yes, it's wonderful. So, I mean, we just work together and works out really well.
Who runs the show?
Mark runs the show.
Mark.
He's the boss.
Do you guys work better under pressure or laid back?
I think laid back.
Yeah, I think laid back.
Yeah, we're pretty relaxed.
Yeah,
Until Bobby gets his coffee, then we're in trouble.
I can do both.
All right, if anyone out there listening has any questions for Mark, Bobby, or Sarah, you can call in now at 216-687-3515, and I will put you on the air. I haven't put anyone on the air in a while, so hopefully I won't drop your call. Oh, we got a call immediately after I said that, immediately. So let's try this out, and just bear with me, and if I screw this up, just call back, because it has been since I think the last time I interviewed them in March since I put anyone on the air, so let's this, and then that, and then this. I'm the caller. Are you still there? No? No? I hung up on you? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
They're calling back.
Good.
Let's try this a second time. Speaker button. All right. Hello? Oh, it's Evelyn.
Hi, Evelyn. How are you? I'm very well. Good. Of course, yes. They won a contest. Oh. Yes.
Yep.
Funky
Funky
Poodle.
Poodle. Yes,
Of
this
course,
skinny
Skinny Little Boy. I
Yes.
remember Rapscallion.
Yep, Frank Lynx.
They were very good.
No.
Is that right?
Yep. Breathless. Yep. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, sure. That's
Right.
right, of course.
Chrissy Hines from Cuyahoga.
So far, it's been very well, Evelyn. Good. I'm glad you did. Sarah Menka. She does.
Thanks,
she does.
Evelyn. Merry Christmas. I'm doing great. How are you? Oh, wow.
It's Mark Addison.
Right. Well, they lost touch with the community. You know, they branched out and became Clear Channel. Exactly. That's right.
They know what good is.
I'm sure we will, Evelyn, and I hope you call. Hello, how do you do? Merry Christmas to you, sir. Okay, Evelyn, thanks for calling. We will, I'm sure. I don't know, we'll talk to Jake, and we kind of touch base, and yeah, he does.
This
Thank
is the
you.
best.
Thanks, Evelyn.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Bye now.
Thanks for calling, Evelyn.
Merry Christmas.
All right. She's been calling all morning, itching to get on the air to ask you guys some questions.
That's very nice.
She's a big fan, always calling in to request your guys' music.
Excellent.
So let's get back to some questions here. What don't you like about the music industry today?
I can answer that. I think there's a big dependence on video instead of quality. You can have a really great video, but if the music is bad, it's still a bad video. And yet I see a lot of things on YouTube and things that I don't think belong there. They're not that great. I'm not saying all of them, but some. And it makes me wonder, is that where we're going, just to a visual medium with mediocre music or not? I don't know.
Right, so you think there should be some kind of filter on what gets out
No,
there?
not a filter. I mean, it's a free country and all, but I just think that's a big change I've noticed in the last 5 years. It's just how, if you have a good video, chances are you'll, be popular. But yet, to me, as a musician who likes the basics, as I said before, there's no substitute for quality. And you can't substitute just video for mediocre songs. That's a strong opinion I have about what I've heard a lot on the like YouTube and things.
Okay. Now, are you guys looking at anything new in the future?
Definitely a new album. It's going to feature the three of us, and we're working together as a team. And yes, there will be a 2011, early 2012 release.
Oh, excellent. And now, are you guys ever going to quit recording?
Bobby?
Never. I'll do it from my deathbed.
Not till they cry it from my cold dead hands.
They'll have me on my deathbed recording. I just love it so much.
Now,
Can't wait to hear that.
I want to mention this. I found this up here at the station. What can
Oh,
you tell me
yeah.
about this? Marcus
That's old.
Benz.
That's
4,000 words. Proof that you guys have been doing this
That's right.
for a long, long time, and that you probably will never quit recording. Because this came out in, 1986, I believe?
I think so. Something like that.
86,
87, 86, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Before my time.
And your style, well, it sounds different. It's more synth-oriented on here. But, the photographs look pretty similar to the photographs, your press photos from the new album. And Marcus Benz was your old name. And we have guitar interpretations by R. Schroll.
That's right.
That's Bobby. What can you tell me about Rain Records, who put this out?
That was a preliminary stab at incorporating and maintaining a recording studio. It was successful. Bobby and I did that, and
We got
successful
airplay-
to no extent.
We got
but
some
it was
airplay all over the world with that one. They played all
In
over
Holland.
the world. Holland,
Yeah,
yeah.
It played in
Right.
Holland.
And that's before the internet. We got notified of that by U.S. mail.
Wow.
We sent out a press package with that one too, believe it or not.
And you were still playing the sax on
I
here,
played sax.
and
Yeah, I
who
did
did
the
this?
sax.
You did the synth, or
All the synth, yeah.
did all the synth work? And we have a note on here. It says, "FYI, this guy sings the PD's Heart of the City theme. I saw him in the mail order ad."
That is a misnomer. That is
But
not. That is mistaken. I did.
Mistaken.
That was
in case of
Gary
mistaken,
Benz or something. There's another band.
There's a Michael Benz who did
Yeah.
that.
Michael Benz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone did that by mistake, but we've gained some popularity out of that. Believe it or not. Thank you, Michael or K. Michael or whatever.
Right.
Thanks. We appreciate it.
Looks like this got a lot of plays back in the day.
It
so,
did. They said they knew what a Rock Hall of Fame is going to be.
I'd like to play something off this album. What would you guys
Violence
recommend?
Redone.
Violence Redone?
How about There Is Nobody Home?
Yeah, nobody home. There's nobody home.
Nobody
That'd be
home?
good.
Let's
You
try
have to
that.
remember,
there's
let me set this up a little bit. This was 1987, and this was avant-garde radio's college type material, and we were going for a very, it's not very good.
Well, I would disagree. I really like this album, and I've had other callers who, you're always your own harshest critic, you know.
No, you're
But
There's nobody home.
let's take a break and take you back to 1987 with Marc James and Bobby Schroll. There is Nobody Home. All right.
That was 1987.
1987. There's Nobody Home. Marcus Benz. And you guys had a drum machine for that?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
A Roland 808, TR-808. Everyone
Dinosaur.
duplicates that sound now, but that's a very popular sound, and it was at the time also.
It's a dinosaur.
It was a dinosaur. But I
A
had
good
one of the,
dinosaur.
I had one of the original dinosaurs before extinction.
Exactly.
Was that your? Did you have any other equipment used on that?
Yeah,
or
well,
It's
we
a
did-
synthebase.
Yeah,
It's a synthebase.
yeah, we had
Yeah.
synth the
A
bass?
monophonic bass
Yeah.
keyboard
Yeah.
and an Altec board. I remember the
That's
board
cool.
I used for that album.
Do you guys still have any of that equipment?
No, it's
It was done on a Tascam 38, I think.
Yeah, well, that
8-track.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
All right. So let's get back to these questions. What keeps you guys going with recording music? What's kept you going for 25 years and
I think
keeping you going now?
the friendship between Bob and myself, there's been some great times. There's been some rough times. There's been some great times. And it's just been very beneficial to both of us. We've enjoyed it. The music is a joy.
That's what it is, exactly. Our friendship, it keeps it going. And we just love each other, you know. We've been friends for so long, and we've been, except through the rough times and the hard times, and it's just something we enjoy to do.
You know, it's funny. Different DJs up here occasionally report a Marc James sighting nowadays. I get
Wow.
different people who know what you look like, who've seen the booklet or even different fans. A friend of mine mentioned she had a Marc James sighting. You can confirm this is true or not. At Red Lobster, she thought you
Yeah,
may have been out with your
yeah.
parents.
We always go out to Red
A couple months ago, she said it looked like it was you were with your parents.
I was.
And she said, I think it's Marc James. I told her she should go ask for an autograph,
Yeah.
but she was too embarrassed, so she didn't.
Well, she should have, really. She should have come by and said hello. And very nice. Thank you very much.
Well, good to hear your parents are still
They are.
alive.
They're alive and well. They're in their 80s. They
Yeah.
require a lot of. I'll tell you, they're very independent and they require a lot of TLC. But they're still up and able and having a lot of fun.
They are
enjoying life.
wonderful.
They are wonderful.
And they tolerate me.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mom and Dad. Appreciate it.
That's very, very sweet. Any more shout-outs for anybody you guys want to give?
Frank Fogg from Reaction 7, all the guys in the band there. Just everyone who loves us. You know, we love you too. Thanks for listening to us.
My friend Kathy. I want to say hello to her. Hi, Kathy.
How
How
about
you doing?
Vicky? How about Vicky?
Oh, and Vicky and Dino too, of course.
And Stephanie, I love you, baby.
Stephanie, one of the people mentioned, which song is that where you're mentioning
Beautiful women.
Beautiful Women?
She
Yeah,
is-
when you get all
She's
the...
one of them. She's my one and only.
Right. So if anybody else has any questions for Marc James, feel free to call in 216-687-3515. We're about halfway through the interview. How is the In On It project doing at 5 months?
Probably take that.
It's doing really well. It's well received, and we're having a little bit of sales on the internet, which is cool. You know, we're just enjoying that, and it's doing pretty good. All the reviews we have heard have been positive so far, so we're happy with it.
Yeah.
Who's your guys' favorite artist? And I'll just have you go around and tell us.
Sarah, why don't you say?
Oh, I have so many. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I like them all. I like music in general, so I don't have a favorite. I really don't. So.
Mine would be Kurt Newman and Sammy Lannis from Bodine's, and of course Marc James.
It's probably pretty obvious. I don't even have to state this, or at least I have before, but it's Brian Ferry, David Bowie, and like Lou Reed.
Right.
Big influences.
I heard some Ian Dury the other day, and it reminded me, or I've heard that recently, and it reminded me of you. I thought,
Blockheads.
hit me with your rhythm stick.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
the vocals just
right.
sound kind of.
Ian during the Blockheads, is that what it was?
Yeah. It's kind of goofy, kind of like some of the stuff on
It
the
was cool.
album. You guys have gone a little more out there for this new album, like just the look of it, the look of the photos on this one. Where'd you get these glasses at?
How about the plastic rain suits?
Yeah,
Buy from the dollar store.
Dollar Tree.
and the leather. Wow. Very,
The shiny clothes.
yeah, the shiny clothes.
We
Yeah,
like
it's like the
shiny.
shiny.
We like
Uh,
shiny clothes.
We're latex freaks.
Oh boy.
I give my handcuffs to you.
Thank you.
It always gets weird when Marc James is.
Of course, of course.
It's maximum action.
Yeah. You guys want to explain the title? I've asked you before, but
No,
maximum
no,
action.
no.
Is
Which
it?
one, in on it, or?
Well, I'll ask about both, but is it possible to achieve maximum action?
It is. We got a very insightful email. If you can go to the website, markjamesband.com. And there was I wish I could recall his name right now, but a young
Clark.
gentleman-
I think it was Clark or
Clark,
something. Like
yeah, it was Clark. Good memory, Bobby. And he was just left an incredible email, and we get it.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, you can read it there on the site if you choose to go
Can I
there.
read it on the air? I
Yeah,
want to check this.
sure.
I want to
Yeah,
check out
it's
what
The
Mark
Mark
had to say.
I won't
It's at the
quote
Mark James.
it now as long as you're looking it up.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I mean, it took us back, you know.
We could-
The website's got a little fancier since last time. It's new graphics.
New
some
graphics,
cartoon-
new
some
graphics.
cartoon and
Jake, go to the
guest book.
Yes, yeah, it'd be under Clark, I think. He's something about him.
Clark Smith, July 7th,
That might be
2010.
it. Yeah, that might be
Let's
it.
see what Clark had to say about maximum action. I was in a rut with my old lady and a friend, typo there, and a friend gave me a CD from Mark. He told me it was the diamond standard to get the love life back on track, so to speak. Well, I didn't believe him and thought the last thing I need as another indie release to sputter my mojo. Wow, what a mistake that I didn't listen to this love-making music years ago. Me and the old lady are back in the business, and my mojo is always around as long as maximum action is near. I have it on my computer, school computer, work computer, iPod, iPad, iPhone, and Zune, just to make sure when Sissy is ready to get down, I bring my maximum effort.
Unbelievable.
Thanks for enabling me to live the dream.
I
Wow.
think that is better than the writing of that album.
It's unreal.
I'm glad to know you're making so many lives, making such a difference in so many lives.
We're changing life, one life at a time.
Right.
We're
People
trying
just
to-
need to, start.
We're trying to catch Viagra.
Oh, I think you should make a commercial for maximum action. You
should.
should release
Or,
release a commercial promo.
Really?
And
Definitely.
marketing different ways you can use the album other than just a listening
it
experience.
lasts
It can
longer
also
than-
That's
it can
a
appeal to all
classic.
five senses. Yeah.
That was one of the best emails I've ever gotten.
Wow.
Consult your doctor if it lasts longer than 8 hours.
Okay, so moving on. Did the Beatles or one of the 70s, 80s supergroups affect your sound?
Bobby?
I love him. I love Paul McCartney. He's always been one of my favorites, man. I just dig the Beatles.
McCartney's your favorite Beatle?
Yeah, well,
Paul's your
no.
favorite?
John Lennon was my favorite Beatle.
Okay.
John was it, if you ask me. But as far as bass going, I love Paul. He's one of the best bassists and singers. I just love Paul too, but John was my favorite of the Beatles.
Okay.
Well, believe it or not, I've got out my old vinyl at home, and I've been playing Sgt. Pepper's and things like that on the album. So that's so inspiring, and they were great albums. But I love hearing it on vinyl because it doesn't sound the same as a CD. It's not.
No,
it's
it
got
doesn't.
That warm sound. It's just a totally different experience.
I don't think CDs can ever replicate the sound of vinyl. Just even when they get a little worn, it's still a nice,
Yeah,
familiar
it's real warm
feeling.
and nice.
Yeah,
And
when
what I
they get-
remember growing up, and it just
Sure.
I just loved it. And my favorite was always George. No offense, Bobby, but I
That's
always
good.
liked George the best.
Right, Mark? Why don't you you answer
a
this?
lot of the super groups from the 70s and 80s. I mean, you had Led Zeppelin, superstars, and like David Bowie and
Stones.
the Stones. I mean, and the Beatles were just there'll never be another.
Why don't you guys tell me about the instrumentation used on In On It?
I used some guitar loops and guitar. I used a lot of bass keyboard. And
Vocals, Bobby did some
I do the
outstanding vocals.
a lot of background vocals on there too. I do a lot of the low end, if you would.
Yeah, everything we asked Bobby to do, he came through flying colors. It was fantastic. A real ease of play. Very nice. Sir.
I think it's about time we took a break and heard a song from the new album. So you guys want to do "Get Lost" or?
Sure. Number 9, Get Lost.
Number 9. I got it.
Love the heavy low end bass on this.
Queued up, and here's something from the brand new Marc James album, "In on It."
See a vision across the room. I want to meet her.
Really good, really good. After this, we'll have about 15 minutes left to answer the rest of the questions and take calls. Yeah, everything's
She
going good.
wants to dance tonight.
All right, that was "Get Lost" from the brand new album "In on It." So what does it mean to be in on it?
We don't know. We have no idea. It sounded good. It fit between the lines, and we used it.
All right, good enough.
That's your story and you're sticking with it.
That's right.
Was it hard to put the 14 songs together for the album?
Yes, it was.
Sounds like it.
It was. Seriously, it was work. We wanted to do an album that was really well produced. We wanted to do it right. We wanted to do it professionally. And I'll tell you, Jake, it required a lot of work on mine and Bob's part, and the mix down, and just all that went down with the cover design and everything. It was it was on a brain level. It was fairly taxing. You know what I mean? It was a little involved, and I was glad when it was done.
Well, that's why you took that hiatus after you were done. You needed
Yes,
a break.
yes,
You
exactly.
were exhausted.
Right, there's a lot of, some of the songs just have a whole lot of elements, something like Beautiful Women or something.
Yes,
There's just
yes.
a whole bunch of things going on at once, it seems like, samples and, not so much samples, but, effects and stuff like that.
We tried to make it interesting. We
Yeah.
always wanted it to be interesting. I work in what they call the division of threes. The human mind responds very positively to 3 effects for some reason. That's visual and audio. And at certain times in the album, we wanted sparseness, and then, like I said, we went to the division of threes and assaulted the listener with 3 different sounds from 3 different areas, and that was how the album was produced. Thanks to Bobby and a little bit of myself.
All right, why don't you guys take turns answering this one? If you could change one thing about Marc James, what would it be?
I always have to be on time. He's very punctual, and I'm not a very punctual person. So that's one thing I want to loosen up with, having to be on time because I'm always late.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to get him to change his hair, but I think he's stuck with it. So I think we'll just go with that.
It's getting pretty, I think it's a little longer than last time I saw, right? You're just not cutting for a while, right?
Not cutting. I'm not visiting Al at the end of the street anymore.
Right.
I'm on strike.
Right.
I'm not on speaking terms with Al.
Have you guys ever been recognized, or Mark specifically, because I guess you're the most...
It's funny. Me and Bobby go out, and people know there's an element of music probably when we perform. And Sarah, we've been out. We went to on some social events, and people, it's surprising to me because I don't, I see me every day in the mirror. I don't think I look that different. But when we're out, sometimes there's a social element where people are kind of taken back a little bit and just wondering what the two of us are about. I think.
Right, you have in style all of your own. I mean,
thank you.
the vests and everything. You're always dressed pretty classy, and it stands out in the crowd.
Thank you.
Bobby, are you looking forward to making another album?
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to making as many as I can. I just love recording, I love producing, and I love music. It's in my soul. It's something I can't stop. I never want to.
And Sarah, you're now just a solid
it's
member of the
interesting,
team,
whole-
ready to do an album?
I'm ready. I'm ready, willing, and able. I'm learning a lot, but I got in on the tail end of this recording process. I'm only on about 3 tracks and or so. A couple later was added in later, right, Mark? And
Yeah.
but we hadn't met yet, so he had already started his project, and then we got going together. And definitely want to get in on the beginning of a new one instead of at the tail end or the middle. So
Right, so you think you'll have more input if you...
I don't know if Mark will let me
would say
have
so.
some.
Yeah, you see, when you have your elements in place, and when you can decide what you want to do from the onset.
Yeah,
right
that'll
from
be the
beginning.
difference.
I can now write a song and say I want a female vocal, Sarah's vocal here, and now I can plan on that. I know her ranges, I know her strengths. So, and with Bobby too, we discuss a lot of. There's a lot that goes into the songwriting, not only the physical aspect of writing a song, which is difficult in itself, but also the nuances of how you're going to present it and where things are going to come in and what effects you're trying to achieve. It's a very Bobby and I have taken it to we've enjoyed taking it to a elevated science.
Okay. Are there any hits on this CD?
Bobby, what do you think?
I think Lovin' You might be one. Happier Days I like a lot too. It's a little more laid back. And Dance on Avalon has been growing on me lately. So.
Right. If anybody out there has any last-minute questions for Marc James, you have 11 minutes to get those in. 216-687-3515. Let's see what else we haven't covered. Is there anything you will not do on the next CD?
I think Bobby and I, this is a personal preference, I think, and that's we don't use profanity or we don't outlaw ourselves by pertaining to R-rated or X-rated music. That's just not for me. That's the only limitation I would try to draw, and I wouldn't stay steadfast to that. It's something I might, but it's a preference not to go RX, nothing like that.
You address some heavy topics, some controversial topics, but you keep it tasteful and thought-provoking.
I would rather make somebody think than offend somebody. That's just what I think.
I agree.
What kind of music have you guys been listening to lately? Is there anything?
I've been listening to a lot of Linkin Park and Rolling Stones. That's about
Linkin
it.
Park and Rolling Stones. Are those influences going to seep in on the next recording?
I like to listen to a lot of Godsmack lately too.
Is Mark going to start screaming on the next album? You think? Get it.
Little Chester Bennington there.
No.
I was getting into my vinyl collection, and believe it or not, got out the Who albums. Got those out along with the Beatles. For some reason, they went together pretty well, so that's what I've been doing.
Right, going back to the
That
classics.
and Christmas music.
Yeah. Mark?
Repeat the question again.
What have you been listening to lately?
Oh, lately, I've taken kind of a break. The Beatles. I've watched a lot of documentaries on the Beatles. I've listened to their albums reissued, and it's phenomenal. Just the writing talents and the melody lines of the Beatles. I'm really taken by that right now. It's just.
On John's anniversary of his death is 30 years or something?
Yeah.
Has it been already? Why it's hard to believe.
Are you happy with In On It, with the final product?
Bobby, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with it. I love it.
I am.
Yeah?
I like it.
Anything you would go back and change, or you'd pretty...
there's a slight tweak here and there. You always listen to it. I wish I would have brought this out a hair more. I wish I would have dropped that back. But there's nothing detrimental that I would say, I can't, or eliminate a song because of it. The process is there. The process works.
Do you guys have any leftovers, any songs that didn't end up on the final album?
Go ahead, Mark.
Not really. No, we don't. We don't have any. We might have thrown one out. I can remember, but that's about it.
Yeah, we eliminated a couple songs that we knew from the onset, right from the beginning, that they weren't going to cut it, or I had worked them to a point and put it on Bobby. I said, Bobby, what do you think of this? And no. So
we just kind of know if it's going to make it or not.
Yeah.
Once we start working on something.
How do you guys start out? Do you come up with the concept, lyrics first? What comes first?
The title comes first.
Title comes
first, and then we kind of design our music around that, and then we kind of let the whole thing run freely from that point.
Right. Do you guys ever just play a beat or something, listen to and then start thinking the lyrics over a beat?
I used to do that, Jake. I've played beats and kind of sing along to it, but the most successful process I've had is to go with a title and then, like I said, run from that point and devise the idea of music, if you will, from that point.
And then it's like painting a picture, a little piece at a time. Just kind of make the art grow on the canvas, if you know what I mean.
And can you explain this little snippet that wound up on the album?
That's our good friend Chris Anthony. That's our good friend Chris Anthony. That was a staged effect.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yes. Hi, Chris. That wasn't. That was not. Me being mean or me being a male. Typical guy.
That's not your actual voicemail?
No,
or
I'm saying that's by design.
Right, got you. How come Underground made it on here twice?
We wanted to reissue that. We had good luck with that the first time around, and I kind of wanted to put it on here just as it was kind of just an idea I had just to put it back on and repeat myself, if you will, which I really didn't like to do, but Underground was a good song.
But it's a little different, right?
Yeah, it's remixed,
Remixed version?
Yeah, we beefed it up a little.
And your vocals, I can tell, have changed. Not a lot that you can tell, but you have more range now. You go the highs and the lows, and I think on this earlier EP from 1987, you were...
Yeah, we've evolved.
Yeah.
Bobby and I have definitely evolved. If you're listening to the guitar work, if you're listening to Bobby's just fantastic on vocals, and bringing Sarah into the mix and having a lot of things going on now, it's just taking a whole new direction. It's very positive.
What kind of message were you trying to get across with the song "Sexuality"? Because that's the one that a lot of people have asked me about. What's the overall message to that one?
That sexuality is just an out there, not in your face. It's just an explanation of different preferences by different people. That was the idea of that song. If you listen to it, it's not at all controversial.
No.
It may sound it on the surface, but it's not. It describes various, in taste, I think very tastefully done. It describes the different orientations of different people, and it's a thought provoker. It's a thinker.
But it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It's a positive thing.
I've met so many interesting people from different cultures and backgrounds and races and ethnicity that it's just you don't want to keep a closed mind, and that was our idea when we wrote that.
All right, I think we'll close out with hearing the song "Sexuality," and then we can come back and say our goodbyes, and we'll take a listen to this one, because this is the one that's been getting the most plays here on WCSB.
Oh, fantastic.
A lot of people tend towards the weirdest stuff, and I'd say this one, there's a few weird ones on this one, but a few ones that are pretty out there.
We're all about weird.
I know you guys, that's why I keep having you guys on, because you guys bring the weird.
We love the weird.
All right, here's "Sexuality" from the new album, and Sarah's on this one as well, right? Yeah, you can hear prominent vocals from Sarah. Don't forget about the lesbians.
That's right.
Don't forget about them. And I'll have a pair of them jeans.
That's exactly it.
Unbelievable. This one, all songs. Excellent job, Dave.
Thank you.
You just get so good at it.
Getting this thing down, you know?
Becoming a regular interviewer.
Yeah. We got the hang over. This is time number 3, so third time.
We've all gone mad, revolution of bad, I'll take a pair of those jeans. We've all gone mad, revolution of bad, yes I want it so bad.
Don't forget about the shirts and stuff you're going to give them in that thing.
You really want those jeans, don't you? When are you going to find those ever jeans?
I like them old worn-out Levi's, the straight leg ones, with the holes in them.
I'm heading straight to the gene pool after we're done.
I'm going to dive in for a dip myself.
Mark, are you doing all the vocals when you're describing the different sexualities?
Yes,
That's you doing the.
Yes, I did the
Homosexual and
transsexual.
Wow.
Good.
Pretty impressive.
Don't forget about the
And I'll deny that, Jake. I'll deny that.
All right. So let's see. I guess you guys have asked this. We've asked this one before, but are you guys all in a relationship right now? With
Yes, I am.
You all have a significant other?
Same one for me, always will be. And
All right.
love you, Steffi.
I can answer that for the both of us, sir.
Mark and I are seeing each other now, so that's
Wow.
That's
Yes,
evolved.
yes.
Did the love connection happen during the course of the making of the album, or before?
Actually, before.
Before.
We met, and then naturally Sarah was musically inclined, so we just and it wasn't, it wasn't just a preferential treatment type thing. She really fit the bill. The persona was there, the talent was there, so it was really just an added plus.
All right. Very cool. You are listening to WCSB Cleveland. Thus concludes the Marc James interview. I will remind you that on Thursday night I will be screening movies at the Bella Dubby,
Yes.
Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, and Christmas Evil to really bring in the holidays. It's not real. Christmas can't officially begin until these movies start. It is, yes. So get in on it and
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Thanks for the plug as always, Jake.
Thanks
Right,
for having us, Jake.
And you can
Steve,
visit
thank you.
markjamesband.com for more information about the recordings and to purchase the album, right? You can
That's correct.
follow a link
That's
from there
correct.
to
all of our information is there.
All right, very cool.
Please sign our guest book. Thank you.
Any last thing you guys want to say?
Sarah?
Just thanks, Jake, and I hope you have a great holiday season, and thanks for having us on today.
Merry Christmas to everyone, especially my brother Artie.
Merry Christmas, Cleveland, and thank you very much, as always, for your undoubtedly fine support. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Now stay tuned for Jukebox Willie coming up next with the International Music Show. And here's a word from our sponsors.
I love it.
That's great. That's great.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Hi, how are you? Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas, sir.
Oh,
Yeah, right on, brother.
Nick. That's great. Yeah, our first summer.
You gotta share.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
No, yeah. Give that to Steve. Or
There you go.
I can give it
Steve?
Thanks, Jake.
Oh, sure thing. Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Excellent.
Yeah,
job.
thanks.
That was fun.
Good one.
Yeah, it was good.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. That was really cool. I'm gonna try and make it Thursday up to your thing. You know?
Oh yeah, Bella W in Lakewood.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Madison. You know what it is?
I
Okay,
do.
coffee
I
shop.
live on Marlowe. So
Oh yeah, you're right around the corner.
I got a house on Edwards too.
Very cool. It'd be great to see you out there.
Thanks for having us again.
Did we get a copy of that?
Yeah. I will be finalize it.
Okay.
You want to take over, Emery?
Excellent.
Thanks, you guys.
Steve, again, thank you, brother. We'll definitely put you up on the website. I'm that guy, Stephen Z. We got you. Make sure you mention. You know, that's cool. Thank you. How did it turn out? You think it's cool? I bet it's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Man, that's what I am.